have you been converted to being an Arab because of being married to an unreconstructed Arab over in the corner there, or politically, do you have to have an even hand between us and Dundee FC? Shona.
Can you hear me without the mic? Thanks for that question, Billy. What can I say? I support both my local teams, but you know who I'm married to. And I'm very much looking forward to the cup final. I'm going to be joining you there. It's going to be great. And I think actually it's a sign of some of the good things that Scottish football's about, and alongside the national team doing a lot better, up to 22 just now in the rankings, and we've just put our bid in for Euro 2020 for Hampden to have one of the some of the games and hopefully one of the quarter-finals. So I think we're in a not a bad place. But today, I think actually it's quite a good turnout today. It's a Saturday. Everybody's got lots of different things on, and you should remember that there's meetings like this happening all over Scotland. There's lots of teams that have got their indie support groups, even a Rangers for Independence, believe it or not, there is. It's on Twitter. So, you know, there's movements in football, in sport, in arts, culture, music, politics, and I think what Jim and Ricky said is quite right. The Yes movement is not about the SNP, it's not about this First Minister, although of course she's doing a grand job and I'm his #1 fan, but it's not about Alex Salmond, it's not about the SNP, it's about the future of our country. And you know, we're in a very privileged position because in September we will have the opportunity to choose our own destiny and our own future by going in to the polling station and marking, yes, I want Scotland to be an independent country. Other countries haven't had that. They've not been able to, through democratic processes, get and attain independence for their country. We should remember what a special thing that is, that's all we have to do. But it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and people need to understand that. These opportunities don't come around very often, and I don't think it will come around in another generation. So this is it, folks. This is the opportunity to decide what we want to do with our country. Now, the basic premise of the Yes campaign is this, that the people who live and work here in Scotland are the best people to decide the future of our country. Very, very simple, but very powerful. Why would we allow someone else to make those fundamental decisions about our country? But the people who live and work here are the best people to decide the future of our country. And over the next few months, as the campaign hots up towards polling day, you'll hear from the Yes campaign about why Scotland can be independent, why Scotland should be independent, and why Scotland must be independent. We've touched on some of that already today. Even David Cameron has said Scotland can be independent, although from the No campaign you wouldn't think it when they tell us we're too poor, too stupid. You know, out of all the small countries in the world, Scotland is uniquely placed to make a mess of having the fantastic oil and gas reserves. In fact, they're a real problem for us, don't you know? Having oil and gas is a real problem for us. The Norwegians might beg to differ, as they've got one of the best oil funds in the world. In fact, when the Norwegians are asked how long will your oil and gas last, they say forever, because they put money away into an oil fund, the interest of which is actually more than comes out of the oil reserves. So, we can be independent. We're one of the richest countries, marked around 14th in the list of developed countries, so we have the ability. We are not too poor, we are a rich country, and therefore we can be independent. So the question is, should we? The No campaign has yet to put forward, in my view, any positive case for the Union at all. It's completely negative. It's all about what Scotland can't do, nothing about whether what a positive case for the union would be, and I'm sure there is one to be had. I've not heard it, but I'm sure there is one to be put. But they're absolutely incapable of doing that. It's all negativity. So should Scotland be independent? I would argue, and the Yes campaign argues, that what we want to do is to put that resource and wealth that Scotland has, not just oil and gas, but renewables, the universities. We've got some of the top universities in the world. We have life sciences. We have a lot of industries here which are second to none, that are very, very good. Our economy is actually improving, and we are one of the wealthiest countries. But it's what we do with that. So should Scotland be independent? Our contention is that we want to put that wealth to good use, prosperity for a purpose. It's not about changing flags, it's about using that wealth to tackle child poverty, which is on the increase, to tackle fuel poverty. In an energy-rich country like Scotland, our pensioners are choosing to heat their homes or eat their tea. That makes me very, very angry, that in a rich country like Scotland, our pensioners are making those choices. They shouldn't have to, because we're a wealthy country. So should we be independent? Yes, we should. The Scottish Parliament, I believe, as well, has shown that where we do have control over health and education, we make better choices. We've got free education down south, they're paying tuition fees. We've got free medicines down south, they have to pay for their medicines and make those choices. So where we have those powers already, we make better choices. But it's a half-empty toolbox. It's a bit like your toolbox in your car. You've got half the tools missing, someone else holds them. So to be able to make the best of what we have here in Scotland, we don't just need power over health and education, we need power over the economy to be able to create jobs for our young people, keep our young people living and working here in Scotland. So we should be independent. Now, the last part of it is must be independent. Now, the reason we must be independent is we have a choice of two futures. The White Paper, which some of you might have seen, sets out the potential for Scotland to be independent, the way that we can grow our economy, get our young people working, look after those who can't look after themselves, have a proper safety net. That's what the welfare system was supposed to be about. I see Alistair Carmichael thinks our welfare system is fantastic. I'd like him to be in one of my surgeries when folk come in crying their eyes out because of the bedroom tax. He's living in a different world. The welfare system is being dismantled now. I agree that people who are able to work should be given every assistance to, and we would want to have the right economic climate to make sure everybody can work. But there are people who can't for a variety of reasons. And if you look at those who are most affected by the welfare reforms at the moment, it's people with disabilities and people who are in work, the working poor at the moment, folk holding down 2-3 jobs, struggling to make ends meet. That's not the type of vision we have for Scotland. So we're at a crossroads facing two futures here. And there's another fundamental thing here, that no matter who you vote for, in Scotland, with an independent Scotland, you will get the government that you vote for. At the moment, in my lifetime, we've had Tory governments more than we've had any other colour of government, which means that Scotland votes one way and you get a Tory government. That will continue if we don't have independence. So with independence, we'll get the government that we vote for. We're running a very positive campaign about the potential that Scotland has, but there are one or two truths that people need to understand about the consequences of a no vote, and we've heard a little bit about that today. This idea that powers will fall from the sky and we'll be able to transform our parliament, it's not going to happen, because we've heard it all before. We've heard it all before. The day after, it'll melt like snow off a dike. There'll be nothing. And not only that, they'll be coming for our budgets. They're already signalling Barnett formula, you can forget that. They're coming for our budgets. And there's something else. The UK government, the Tory government, the Tory Lib Dem government, if you remember them, they are furious that they've been put through this, because on the international stage they believe that they've been made a laughingstock. That in the international stage the UK has been put up there because of this vote, and they hate it. Now I think Scotland being on the international stage. All eyes are on Scotland, looking to see what we do. It's a great thing, but from the UK government's perspective, they are humiliated by this in the international stage. And I'm telling you this, there will be consequences if there's a no vote like we have never seen, because it will be payback time. So remember the reasons to vote yes, but also remember, when you wake up on September the 19th, how do you want to feel? When the eyes of Scotland and the media have been all over what is Scotland going to do, what choice is Scotland going to make, when you wake up on the 19th of September, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel that you're at the beginning of building a new nation, all pulling together, which we will, even those who didn't vote yes, will all have voted yes. You'll not be able to find anybody who hasn't voted yes, you know? We all want to be part of this new... And how good is that going to feel? Not just for us, but for our kids. My daughter's 10, and I know in my heart of hearts, 150% that her future is going to be better with a yes vote. So it's not just about us, it's about our kids, our grandkids, the future generations. How good is that going to feel to be thinking, right, what part am I going to play in building this fantastic new nation? Not to be better than anybody else, but to take a rightful place in the world, to be a force for good, a peaceful force, not entering illegal wars, and building our nation to be the best it can be. Imagine how that's going to feel on September the 19th. And it's all going in our direction. The positivity, you can feel it on the streets. People want to be part of that. But we need everybody here to go out and speak to folk that are maybe undecided, that are maybe not there, and persuade them. It's everybody's job. It's not just the politicians' jobs, it's every single person's job who is already persuaded by that to go out and persuade others. And if we can do that, then we'll all be sitting on the 19th, maybe having a dram or two, I don't know, and celebrating, ready for the working hands. So thanks very much, and there's a lot of work to be done, and I hope you'll all be part of that. Thank you.